This is a Code Ninja's security advisory. We're tracking a critical zero-click vulnerability in Roundcube webmail. The information in this briefing is for immediate use, so listen up.
Now, let's be absolutely clear. What you're seeing here isn't some theoretical exercise. This is the attack vector for CVE-2025-68461. We're talking about a severe cross-site scripting vulnerability that allows a silent total compromise of a user's email account. This is a very active threat, and attackers are exploiting it in the wild as we speak. Okay, we're now formally disclosing the technical details on CVE-2025-68461. The goal of this briefing is simple, really, to give you the actionable intel you need to defend your perimeter, and you need to do it now. Let's break down this risk profile. Look at the key metrics here. The attack vector? Network. Privileges required? None. And this is the real kicker. User interaction required? None. That means an attacker can fire off their payload remotely, without needing any credentials and without the target having to click a single link or open any attachment. Nothing. So you're going to see two different CVSS scores floating around. MITRE calls it a 7.2 high. NVD has it at a 6.1 medium. The difference really just comes down to how they measure that user interaction piece. But honestly, this whole debate is just academic. The real-world status of this vulnerability makes this numbers game totally irrelevant. And here's why. The most important thing to know is this. CISA has added CVE 2025-68461 to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. That action, right there, it overrides any and all discussion about severity scores. A KEV listing is a direct confirmation that this is being actively exploited, and it mandates immediate action for all federal agencies, and really for any organization that takes its security seriously. All right, we're pausing the technical briefing for a mandatory comms check. To make sure you keep getting this real-time threat intelligence, it is absolutely critical that we establish a secure link. Do not skip this part. I need you to follow this 3-step protocol. 1. Subscribe to this channel and make sure you enable all notifications. That's how you maintain your connection to our intelligence stream. 2. Hit the like button. Think of this as your formal acknowledgement of receipt for this advisory. And 3. Comment below with your patch status. Just type patched or vulnerable. This helps us and everyone else get a rough census of the blast radius. Comms check complete. Let's get back to the technical analysis. We're now going to dissect the exploit mechanism itself and its operational impact. And believe me, the blast radius for this thing is significant. You see, Roundcube isn't some niche product. It is deployed across a massive attack surface. We're talking internet service providers, major universities, countless hosting companies, and even government agencies. A single vulnerable server can put thousands upon thousands of users at risk. The core problem here is what we're calling the SVG animate tag exploit. The vulnerability exists simply because Roundcube fails to properly sanitize or neutralize a very specific animation instruction inside an SVG file. That little oversight is the front door for the entire attack. And this is how they weaponize it. An attacker crafts a malicious SVG file. Then, right inside an animate tag, they embed a JavaScript payload directly into the values attribute. The moment that email is rendered by the victim's client, Roundcube's HTML sanitizer is completely bypassed, and that malicious script just fires automatically. Once that account is compromised, the impact just cascades. The script can grab session tokens, giving the attacker full control of the account. From there, they can download entire email archives, intercept password resets and 2FA codes, and even set up silent forwarding rules to monitor all future emails. Because email is the backbone for everything we do online, this is just a catastrophic failure. Okay, we're now moving to the most critical part of this advisory, the mitigation protocol. Your immediate action is required to lock down your systems. The primary directive couldn't be simpler. Patch now. You need to upgrade all of your Roundcube instances to version 1.6.12. Or, if you're on the older branch, you need version 1.5.12. These versions have the fix that correctly handles those SVG tags. There are no other options here. This is the main step. Now, we know that immediate patching isn't always possible, especially in complex environments where you might have vendor dependencies. If that's your situation, you have to deploy secondary controls as a matter of extreme urgency. Defense-in-Depth is your only play. So, here are your secondary controls. First, deploy a strict content security policy, or CSP, to block inline scripts from executing. Second, enforce server-side sanitation of any SVG uploads before they ever get near a user. And third, use a scanner, like the open-source GotTro000 tool, to proactively hunt down vulnerable instances on your network. Look, this disclosure is necessary because you need to know you're at risk. As part of coordinated vulnerability disclosure, understanding the timeline is absolutely key to understanding the head start the bad guys have. So let's walk through it. The patch was released back on December 13th. By February 20th, CISA had already confirmed active exploitation and slapped it on the KEV catalog. That set a hard deadline of March 13th for federal agencies to get patched. The window for easy exploitation is closing, but the risk to unpatched systems remains absolutely critical. The adversary is not waiting around for you to get your affairs in order. Your perimeter is being tested right now, whether you know it or not. So the only question you need to be asking yourself is, are you patched? This concludes the advisory. Verify your systems. Deploy your mitigations. Stay secure.